good evening. This is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 15th of January. And the news today is Brexit has failed. No big surprises there, but that's what I would like to discuss this evening. But first, let me thank you, all of the returning subscribers and any new subscribers maybe joining us this evening. And I hope that you will like and subscribe and continue returning to this channel. Okay, so Theresa May's Brexit vote failed really miserably today. I mean, it really did. It suffered a horrible defeat, but that was no surprise. I mean, we kind of knew 5 weeks ago in December when they felt it was going to fail, so they had to, rework some of the internal parts of the negotiations, the contract. And I mean, this is a huge contract. This is, 500-600 pages long, something like that. It is intensely complicated. And of course, a big issue, a big part of this is that the Conservative Party is a minority party, and it had to form a coalition with the DUP, the Democratic Union Party of Ireland, and they do not want to leave the EU. Okay, so Britain has an open borders agreement with Northern Ireland, and so now they have to set up some kind of border control, and it's just it's such a mess. And you have to remember, this has been a hugely contentious issue all the way along. Theresa May has lost 10 cabinet ministers who've resigned over this, and don't think that another Brexit referendum would necessarily present a different result. Over 80% of Brexiteers would vote the same way again. And it's not so cut and dry between the Conservative and the Labour parties. Jeremy Corbyn, the head of the Labour Party, never wanted to join the EU in the first place. And there are a significant number of Labour MPs who would vote against staying in the EU. So, as I say, this is not quite so cut and dried. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at a couple of articles, and then I'll come back and we'll do a wrap-up. Okay, here we go. Brexit withdrawal agreement fails by 230 votes, 15th of January 2019, and this is the latest EU policy updates. UK Prime Minister Theresa May's proposed Brexit withdrawal agreement has failed to pass for a vote in Parliament, with an historically high loss of 432 votes to 202. Now, this vote that was just taken, this is the House of Commons vote, and down here is another vote. The House of Lords voted late last night to reject May's deal by a majority of 321 to 152. Under the terms of the Grieve Amendment, May's government now has 3 days to present a Plan B alternative proposal to the House of Commons, although the EU has made it clear they have no plans to renegotiate the Brexit withdrawal agreement. Increasing numbers of MPs and members of the public have called for a second referendum, on the basis that the results of the 2016 referendum, which resulted in the UK's decision to leave the EU, were irrevocably tainted by corruption, inaccurate representation and lack of cohesion on the part to leave voters as to the terms of which they wanted to leave. And I kind of wonder, I really do wonder, if the stay vote had been the winner and England was voted to stay in the EU, whether they would be talking about another referendum, even if it had been tainted by corruption, inaccurate representation and lack of cohesion on the part of the stay voters. I would because we'll never find out that, but I'd be interested to find out. Theresa May lost the Brexit deal vote. Now she has to fight to keep her job, and May faces a no confidence vote on Wednesday. This is going to be put forward by Jeremy Corbyn. British Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit deal was voted down by Parliament on Tuesday, and now she's set to face another test, a no confidence vote in her government. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn called for the vote almost immediately after members of Parliament struck down May's deal by 230 votes, one of the most crushing losses for a government in recent history. May, in addressing MPs after a stunning defeat, made clear that she would welcome such a motion. "We need to confirm whether this government still enjoys the confidence of the House," the Prime Minister said. "I believe that it does, but given the scale and importance of tonight's vote, it is right that others have the chance to test that question if they wish to do so." The vote, which will take place on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, could alter the course of Brexit and throw British politics into further turmoil. It could bring about general elections and a new Prime Minister, or it could leave the UK where it started, with May as Prime Minister and a Brexit deadline looming and no agreed upon deal and no obvious solution. Well, I think you're going to find that Theresa May will survive the no confidence vote tomorrow. It'll be a squeaker. She may only survive by a few votes, but she will survive, and Britain will continue on to have a hard Brexit or a no-deal Brexit in March. Now, as I say, losing this vote is a significant result because of the complexity of the voting, of the fact that there is enough opposition to either side of the aisle to go back and revisit this question. We are going to see a hard Brexit. A no-deal exit, I think they're calling it. And so this is going to be very, very interesting, because what's going to happen is that Britain will suddenly start to flourish as an independent state. They will learn to forge new ties and new deals with other countries. Remember, a seller is always looking for a buyer, and a buyer is always looking for a seller. And other European countries are going to see this. And I think you are going to see that you are going to have poll exits and Frexits and all kinds of things coming up in the future when they see that Britain didn't fall apart and that the Bank of England was completely wrong in all of its predictions. Now, am I saying that it's not going to be a bump in the road? Of course it's going to be a bump in the road. Of course there are going to be issues. Well, this is like when you break up with your partner. You know, so one of you has to go and live in a new home. There's different arrangements with the children. I think all these things have to be worked out. It's not going to be straightforward, but it won't be impossible, and it won't be as hard as these corporations and these corporate bankers are trying to fearmonger everybody into thinking that the whole world is going to collapse. Now, what will collapse is the EU, because this is basically the chink in the armour. One country has now left the EU, successfully left the EU, and has gone on not to collapse but to flourish. And like I say, member states will start to see this. They will start to realise that they don't need the bureaucracy of Brussels to govern them, and they will start walking away in droves. And this must be a good thing. This is the end of the globalist dream, and I, for one, will be happy to see it gone. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below. I hope you have a great week coming up, and we will be talking to you very, very soon. You take care now. See ya. Bye.